Welcome back, everybody, to another Armored Warfare replay. I am your host, the Mighty Bjorn, and today for you, Into the Breach, PvE Hardcore, Operation Banshee. I have a full platoon here with Harry and his Tier 9 Leclerc, Grim Mike with his Leopard 2 A6, Red Queen with her M1 A2C, myself in the Tier 9 Premium Tank Destroyer, the Leclerc T40. And then we have Rexall LB with his Terminator 2. We'll take a quick look here over the T40 Leclerc. This is roughly what the vehicle would have looked like. I'll get into more on why I say roughly towards the end of the video. But so there you go, there's a good look at the vehicle. Special abilities, it does have turbo boost, it has smoke, it has javelin launchers, and it has an auto cannon. So let's proceed. Now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to rush over here across the map as fast as I can to get on these hills over here. There goes my hardcore APS, or hard kill APS. And there we are on top of the hill.
Identify. Awesome. Target locked on.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about the Leclerc T40. The Leclerc T40 was a French project from around 2002 to 2010 by Ghent Industries.
Target's gone.
The Leclerc T40 was inspired by the Russian BMP-T Terminator. At its core, it would use the hull of the Leclerc Azur, and it would have a light CT-40 turret mounted onto it. The new vehicle was designed with heavy reconnaissance and anti-tank role in mind. The Leclerc T40 would weigh around 50 tons. It would have been manned by a three-man crew. Basically a gunner, a driver, and a commander. The Leclerc Azur hull had an additional armor package to increase its protection from weapons like RPGs and various ATGMs, such as the TOW. Cage armor was added to the rear area to protect the engine. The CT-40 turret, however, was constructed out of welded aluminum plates, along with some additional steel plates for additional protection. The Leclerc T40 would have retained the same V8X 8-cylinder supercharged 1500 horsepower diesel engine, making it a fairly mobile vehicle. Actually, would have probably been a little bit more mobile than even the Leclerc main battle tank, because the Leclerc main battle tank would have a heavier turret. It would have two Javelin ATGM launchers and one 40mm automatic cannon. All that being said, the vehicle was never anything more than a concept. It was decided to focus on other programs, like to upgrade the Leclerc. So there you go. That's all the information I actually have on the Leclerc T40. Not a lot of information except for the fact it never got off the drawing board. However, that being said, we can get a rough overall performance, as actually the T40 turret, while still in prototype stage, actually does exist. They actually have been testing mounting these turrets on the AMX-10RC. And then obviously we have Leclercs in service still to this day. Actually, the Leclerc in fact is the most modern of the NATO tanks. It's the newest NATO tank. Now what you have here in Armored Warfare is you have a Tier 9 tank destroyer with decent spotting, not necessarily the best of camo, but decent armor. Not main battle tank armor, mind you, because the turret really does not handle the abuse such as some other vehicles do. Now what you're seeing here is me using the Javelins. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Javelins. They are a guided missile, what you do is you have to lock on with the launcher system, and once you get a lock on, the missile will guide itself to where it needs to be. And really the best way to put it is an artillery ATGM. It fires really high up in the air, travels to target, and then comes down steeply on top of the roof armor or roof of the turret or roof of the hull, penetrating the vehicle. The Javelin is actually one reason why the APS systems have been created. However, there's also this also has a slight problem to it, as some vehicles, especially the higher tier vehicles, actually has explosive reactive armor on the roof. Things like the soft kill APS can throw off the guidance of the Javelin missile and make it maybe hit a thicker area of the turret, preventing you from doing its maximum damage. It is a top-down missile. It doesn't do a ton of damage, but generally most of the time you almost always do damage. This is actually a really good weapon to use for tanks that are dug in. You get a tank that is dug in, lock on its turret, and just start blasting away. Another trick too is you can actually edge up over the hill and kind of get a lock on without exposing yourself, and then fire your ATGMs. That being said, I don't think it's a bad vehicle. I would say its use is not necessarily the greatest for PvE hardcore. Spec Ops, it might not be so bad. I would actually say this vehicle is more beneficial in a PvP scenario with buddies to help cover you. Essentially, you have a couple main battle tanks. Push.
Great work, Black.
Looks like we're going to go a little long for this one, folks. There's the W. But we'll go a little long before I talk about the results. But you have like two buddies in main battle tanks doing the pushing while you take the Leclerc T40 and you do the spotting. And if you come across an MBT that is well dug in and is only giving you his turret, you can just do a lock on and start firing the Javelin missiles off at him. From cover, nonetheless. But anyway, one more thing to cover with the T40 before I finish up and talk about the results. The T40 is actually in the tech tree, the French tech tree. That is the tech tree with the Stingray logo. At a tier 9, it is a tier 9 premium, and it is 14,000 gold. I'm not necessarily fully convinced that it's worth it. I don't think it's a bad vehicle, but consider that a tier 8 runs around 9,000 gold. So 14,000 gold just, it seems a little steep to me, but that could just be me. Anyway, the vehicle's still not bad. It does a pretty interesting job. It does kind of cross between a heavy reconnaissance vehicle and a tank destroyer based on how you play it, based on how you have it set up. Anyway, folks, so let's talk about the results here. As you can see, I would do almost 19,000 damage. I spotted 11 enemy vehicles and destroyed 7. Got myself the blue star. Quite a bit of credits for not having premium time. And as you can see, I would be the top overall for damage. However, I would not be the top overall for spotting. That would actually go to Harry with his Leclerc, but I still had some okay-ish spotting damage. This is actually one of my lower spotting damage games. I normally play this more like a reconnaissance vehicle with TD as a secondary role in mind. This was a scenario that I played with it as a TD in mind. But anyway, folks, thank you very much. As I said, this vehicle never got off the drawing boards, but I do find it as an interesting vehicle. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I will see you for the next video.